What was it about Mamdani and his campaign specifically that stuck out to you?
Well, it's because he is talking about the things that people care about, not just affordability, but he's talking about actually making the country work for average people, making democracy a real thing. He's a young voice like AOC. These are the people who ought to be the leading voices of the Democratic Party. And the fact that you have so many corporate and financial Democrats from Wall Street who are just livid about Mamdani, it proves my point. I mean, they should not they should not have so much power in the Democratic Party. They have power because they are the big money behind the Democratic Party. Well, the Democratic Party ought to get rid of that source of big money. It doesn't need it. It shouldn't. It undermines the integrity.
Well, they would say they do need it because they're up against a party that the last election was funded by the richest man in the world.
Well, the fact of the matter is that small donations have become more significant than big corporate donations when you're running for office. And the Democratic Party ought to know that, ought to learn that if it doesn't know that.
Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, are these the right leaders for the Democrats right now? They don't seem to have a fighting spirit. They don't seem to have a backbone. They're obsessed with bipartisanship, with working with the Republicans. They can't bring themselves to even endorse Zohran Mamdani, their own party's mayoral candidate in their own city.
I think it's ridiculous and even disgraceful. They ought to be endorsing him. They ought to be out in front. They ought to be showing the Democrats the way forward. Instead, they're at the back of the line. They are the most conservative of Democratic representatives and senators in Washington. That's not where the leadership is going to come from anyway. I mean, I have been a Democrat since 1793. I mean, I know the Democratic Party. I have been in the Democratic Party. There is no longer a Democratic Party as such. There is a big financial machine called the Democratic Party, the Democratic National Committee. There is also on the Republican side a bunch of zombies, just absolute zombies that follow Donald Trump. That's what we have today. We don't have two governing parties as we did before.